The Defense of Marriage Act, or DOMA, was introduced in the House on May 7, 1996, in the second session of the 104th Congress. It was sponsored by Representative Bob Barr, a Republican from Georgia, and it had 117 co-sponsors. The Act established a federal definition of marriage as only a legal union between one man and one woman as husband and wife, and a spouse as only a person of the opposite sex who was a husband or wife. The DOMA Bill, or H.R. 3396, was a response to a development in the state of Hawaii, where the state courts appear to be on the verge of requiring that state to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. This became a problem as those same-sex couples who were legally married would run into the complicated issue of whether they are obligated under the full faith and credit clause of the United States Constitution, and whether such couples would be entitled to federal benefits that depend on the marital status. DOMA expressly gave states permission to refuse to recognize marriages entered into by same-sex couples in other jurisdictions. On the 7th of May, the DOMA bill was sent to the House Judiciary Committee, and on the 8th of May, it was referred to the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Constitution and Civil Justice. Representative Barney Frank, a Democrat from Massachusetts, offered the amendment to strike Section 3 of the bill, which defined marriage as a legal union between a man and a woman as husband and wife. Though Frank's bill was failed by voice vote, he offered the amendment to suspend the federal definition of marriage contained in the bill when a state, through normal democratic procedures, establishes a different definition. It also failed by recorded vote, 103 to 331. Both of Frank's attempts to amend the bill were on the 12th of July, 1996. On the same day, July 12, 1996, the DOMA bill passed in the House 342 to 67, with 2 present and 22 representatives not voting. On the 3rd of September, in the Senate, the bill was attempted to be amended by Republican Senator Christopher Bond from Missouri, Republican Senator Don Nichols from Oklahoma, Democratic Senator Edward Kennedy from Massachusetts, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein from California, Democratic Senator Frank Lautenberg from New Jersey, and Senator Bill Bradley, a Democrat from New Jersey. On September 10, 1996, the DOMA bill was passed in the Senate without amendment, 85 to 14, with 1 senator not voting. As DOMA passed with such large veto-proof margins in both the House and the Senate, President Clinton did not have much flexibility on the choice. On the 20th of the same month, the bill was presented to President Clinton, and a day later it was signed. That day, the 21st of September, 1996, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, became Public Law No. 104-199. President Clinton, in later years, would argue with key legislators for DOMA's repeal, changing his initial stance on the bill. In 2011, the Obama administration announced that it had concluded Section 3 of DOMA was unconstitutional. Officially, in U.S. v. Windsor in 2013, Section 3 of DOMA was struck down by the Supreme Court and declared unconstitutional.